Okay, so I've got us at 1900 on 14th of November, Tuesday night. So this must mean LDR 440 Zoom session. I'm sorry, it's a little dark. I've got lights dimmed a little bit. I hope that's okay. And let's see here. We are in week 5. So coming up on the end. Week 5 started on Monday the 13th. That would have been yesterday, going through Sunday the 19th. Okay. So listen, everybody's doing really well. Uh, Appreciate everybody's hard work, attentiveness, and getting your assignments in. Um, Most of you have told me what organization you're going to write your week 7 organizational change paper about. Let me pull that slide up to show you. And see if I can share the screen for that. Okay, so you should see the screenshot of paper. Right now, so I've gotten it from 6 of 8 of you. So 2 of you, I still don't know what your papers are, and that's those 2 that don't have anything next to you. But we've got a wide range here. This is going to be good. We've got a couple military, which would be the in process at Osan Air Force Base and the American Embassy in San Salvador. Really looking forward to reading those. We've got a couple companies, Medical Center, and the Durham Police Department. So this is going to be great. Can't wait to read. Let me try that again. I can't wait to read what you all come up with. Again, this is for the organizational change project. It's paper. We still say project, or at least I do, because that just reflects the old school that was back when we were doing this as a seated class. And you would present your paper in class, and then I would grade it. This is one of the reasons why I want to know what organization you're going to write on so that we wouldn't have 2 students presenting the same organization. Not necessarily a bad thing, but try to get a little bit more diverse. Okay, the purpose of the paper, which is all you have to worry about. You don't have to worry about presenting it. You're not doing a PowerPoint. You're just submitting your paper. The purpose is to apply and associate concepts that you've been presented in course and apply it to a real world scenario. An organization that you think entails or should entail organizational change. Once you make sure you proofread your paper, remember spell check, Microsoft spell check, Grammarly do a good job, but they don't catch everything. Excuse me, I apologize for that. The Making sure you do proper citations, make sure you have a solid position statement. I sent you the slides on how to write a position statement. Again, it's a thesis statement. It is what you are arguing and how you will argue it. It is the fundamental relationship, the one that matters the most in this class, in all classes. It is your conclusion and the evidence you use to support it. So remember, on a position statement or thesis statement, you're basically answering a question in either the affirmative or the negative. In this particular class, your position statement would be such of, let's pull out Ms. Swanson's example, Durham PD. Durham PD, it requires an effective leadership change for the following reasons, and then X, Y, and Z. Okay, X, Y, and Z would be the reasons. Excuse me, I apologize. It's been a long day here, and I'm trying to get some caffeine here. Drinking my tea. All right. So that's an example. Okay. So in other classes, it would be elements of effective leadership would be listening, communication, and building teams, or something along those lines. Okay. Again, your evidence should be 3 to 5. Um, 3 to 5 reasons for backing up the position you are taking. Okay. If there's any questions on that, again, refer to those slides I sent you. I kind of walk you through it, an example, and it's from another class, but it still applies. And then if you have any questions, certainly give me a ring or contact me. Okay. Okay, and we still want to follow APA standards, and generally follow if you can. That includes use of paragraph headers. I certainly suggest that. Okay, the paper due week 7, Sunday, 3 December, 23:59 or 11:59 p.m. Eastern time. Want you to keep it at a certain amount of words or pages. As you know, I don't grade strictly on words or page counts. I provide those just to give you an idea of how much effort and scope there should be on the paper. Remember, if you can argue and get the points made, all 8 of them, in less than 800 words, and do it effectively and succinctly, then go for it. I don't think you can. It's a lot to ask, okay? Conversely, if you need more than 1,500 or 2,000 or even up to 5,000 words, or you turn this into a 30-page paper, go for it, as long as you effectively address the 8 points and don't fill it with a bunch of gobbledygook, okay? Don't write just for the sake of writing. Be cognizant of what you're trying to say, okay? This is why I suggest use paragraph headers. Each paragraph header should be your introduction and then the 1 through 8. Next paragraph, you would say the change for the organization or team that you identified. Third paragraph is articulate your vision. Fourth paragraph, what are the forces driving that change? Okay, and these are things that come right out of your book. Okay. Again, get back to your paper. It should be double spaced, 1-inch margin, 12-point font, APA format, Times New Roman. Okay, all the standards. All right, this is make sure that you can follow instructions, and it makes it easier on your instructor. Okay, so your paper obviously will have an introduction and a concluding paragraph. Don't forget that. Your position statement would go into both. Position statement goes in the introductory paragraph so that you alert your reader to what you're going to argue and how. You put it in your concluding paragraph as a summation. Okay, as we have covered in this paper, I think the Durham PD needs to undergo organizational change for the following reasons. Okay. Then, of course, you've got these 8, okay, and you see them on the screen. Choose a change that you believe is necessary for your organization, department, or team. Clearly articulate your vision. What's the future state? Explain the forces driving the change. That's a paragraph in your book. Explore the possible barriers to making the change. Paragraph, or that's in your text as well. So just go right in your text and pull some out. You don't have to do all the forces. Again, try to pick 3 to 5. Okay. All right, decide how organizational systems and culture will affect your change effort in your text. Discuss potential resistance to this change. An example in your text. Develop a strategy for accomplishing the change. Okay, here I suggest the Cotter's 8-stage process. Okay, that's a strategy. Again, in your textbook, there are other strategies. Okay, how do you know which one is which? How do you know which forces, barriers, systems, culture, resistance? How do I influence others to support the change? Well, this all gets back to your change image. Okay, remember in your textbook, you did your um, exercise, your self-assessment. And here on my screen, you should see it. I show you what the change images were in this class. List you by name and how it came out. Okay, what you told me. If it has changed or this isn't what you thought it should be, that's fine. Okay, but in your paper, in all your homework from this point on, I want you to try to weave your change image into your answer. Okay, as you were answering the assignments, the discussion forum, and ultimately as you're approaching your personal and organizational change, tell me what change image that you're doing this under. And the reason for that is it's critical because your image of change highlights what you think the change outcome will be, whether you will get intended, unintended, or partially intended outcome of the change. And it helps identify how you've managed the change. In other words, is this a first order change or second order change? Is this a fairly simple change or is it more involved? Are you controlling the change or are you shaping the change? Okay, if it's I'm just going to change the classroom for tonight from classroom 1 to classroom 4, then I'm probably going to be, I'm going to get the change outcome I want, intended, and it's a first order change. So I'm going to control it. So I'm probably going to be a director in doing it. I'm going to tell you I've changed the classroom tonight. It doesn't need to be discussed, right? I just do it. Conversely, if I'm, for example, the CEO of a company and we need to make a significant change in product line or how we approach customer base, then that tends to get in the second order. That's more involved. And it no longer requires a director, it needs more of a coach. If I think I'm going to get the outcome I want, if I think I'm going to get a partial interpreter, okay, if I don't think I'm going to get it, which we don't really quite talk about in this class, then it would be nurture. Okay. So when you say that I'm going to use Cotter's 8-step process, Cotter's 8-step process is in the chapter that is directly aligned with the director change image, which means it is a first order change and it's going to be an intended expected outcome. Okay. And that's in this box down below. In other words, we find in chapter 10, director falls predominantly in the change management approach. Okay. The other that are out there, coach, interpreter, you've read about in chapter 9. Okay. You'll note that your text does not talk about caretaker and nurturer. That is the old, what we call organizational approach, organizational change, if you will, is the chapters 9 and 10. But where the caretaker and nurturer come from is you as a change manager, you just receive it and you do it. That's the old organizational theory. Sorry, kind of muddied around that one a little bit. Okay. So understand what the chapters are telling you. Okay. And understand what your change image brings because this will help you a lot. Okay. This simple graph here is critical in understanding the thrust of the text, which is, again, like contingency leadership depends on the situation. Your change leadership is going to depend on what type of outcome you expect to get, what level of change you are after. And then that starts to neck you into the right approach. Okay. If you're doing a fundamental change, second order shaping, okay, being a director isn't going to work, not as well as it could. Okay. It takes a different approach. And there's fundamental reasons for that. Obviously, a higher level of change, a second order change, requires buy-in and people agreeing and understanding what it is you're doing and will apply themselves to making that change. And again, the most important aspect of change, sustaining. Okay? I hope this makes sense. I hope this helps you out a little bit. Again, uh, try it, use this, okay? And when you're in there answering your questions as it relates to resistance, as it relates to um, barriers, as it relates to communication style of aspects of change, then your change image provides you the more effective approach. Okay. If you identify as a director, chances are you also identify in other situations differently. And most of you have shown that. Okay. If you note on here, and if you remember from your exercise, you didn't just give one, you gave a number of them. Well, that's because different situations require different change images. Okay. The majority of you all walked into the director style and then coach, which makes a lot of perfect sense. You're in a leadership class. This is your type A personalities. This would make sense for this particular course. And as you can see, uh, the responses bear it out. Certainly, some of you have picked up caretaker, navigator. Um, certainly nothing wrong with that. Certainly no wrong answer here. Even nurturer is fine. Okay. It's that understanding what it is that you are trying to do and why and at what level. Okay. Just as it's possible to pick the wrong tool to work on your vehicle. Okay. One would not take a sledgehammer when a precision screwdriver, is required. Same thing here. Try to pick the right tool for what it is you're trying to get accomplished. Okay. All right. That's enough of that. I'm going to get off of it, but use this. Okay. And again, try to bring your change image um, into your into your responses. Okay. So let me change back to our course. Again, you should see the textbook for this class, Leading Change. We are in week 5. You are to read chapter 6, Purpose and Vision. Great chapter, really required. Your discussion forum question, I want you to pull apart the University of Mount Olive mission statement and vision. Predominantly vision. I want you to look at that vision statement for Mount Olive in relation to what Cotter's framework is. Again, this is not Cotter's 8-step model. This is Cotter's 1996 framework found in table 6.4. He gives you 6 specific characteristics in which to apply to a vision statement to assess whether it is effective or not. So go in there and take that framework and do an analysis on the University of Mount Olive's vision statement. And then give me your conclusions. And then finally, what would you add? What would you add to this vision statement to make it pop? To really give it a wow factor, really get your attention. It's pretty good. It might be. Okay. Again, I'll be curious to see what your assessment of it is. And that assessment is based on those specific characteristics that Cotter gives you in that framework. Okay. This is the way to do an analysis. Have specific criteria that you are using. Okay. All right. Again, table 6.3, 6.4 are very good. They provide you a number of authors' views on the key elements of a good vision. I'm pointing you to Cotter's because we're going to just use one in which to frame our discussion, kind of scope our discussion. Okay. But I think you'll get some real interest behind that. All right. So this is due tomorrow night. Your response at 23:59, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, Wednesday, the 15th of November. Hard to believe that Thanksgiving is next week, isn't it? Wow. Anyway, and then respond to two others. Most of you are doing a good job. There's a couple of you that aren't responding to others, and so your participation grade is taking a hit. Not a significant one, but it's a hit. So make sure you participate. Not just post your comments, and your response to these questions, but also providing feedback to your fellow learners. Okay, comment on what they've said and their approach, and make it meaningful. A little bit more than just the I agree or disagree with you type of post. Okay, what you add to the discussion, expand on it, teach it. Okay. All right. And then the quiz. Again, the quiz will be opened on noon tomorrow, Wednesday. This is your week 5 quiz. So therefore, it will be aligned to chapter 6 of your reading. There is a time limit of 45 minutes. You get one attempt. Again, you may use your text, your class notes, the PowerPoint slides. Those PowerPoint slides are provided to you there below. See, I've scrolled down to show you where the slides for chapter 6 are. Okay. The only thing I will ask you not to use on your quiz is collaboration with your fellow students. In other words, you take the quiz yourself. Okay. Have this done before 1500, 3 p.m. on Sunday, the 19th of November. Again, this is pretty easy work every week. The reason it is because you have 2 major papers, each worth 30% of your grade, that are due. Okay. So next week, week 6, on Sunday, the 26th of November, your personal change paper is due. And that should be showing up on your screen right now if I can get it to stop scrolling. There we go. Okay. Personal change paper. Okay. This is 30% of your grade. It's due Sunday on week 6. It has, again, 8 points, just like the organizational change. It's very similar, but it is different in that you're choosing a meaningful personal change that you want to make. And then your vision, the forces that are driving you to change personally, the barriers you're throwing up to that change, and others. Okay. Others may throw a barrier to your change, right? Peer pressure and the like. Describe your personal strengths and weaknesses that affect your change effort, whether you're up for the challenge. Discuss why you have resisted this change or might resist it in the future. Okay. Strategy for accomplishing the change. Again, concepts used in the text. Yes, you can use Cotter's 8-step process here, but I want you to take a hard look at that. Again, getting back to what your change image is. And then describe how you will influence others to support your change. All right. This is personal. So this is not go in and copy and paste from the text. This is, you certainly can bring some of the concepts from the text. I encourage you to bring concepts in from the text. You could say the text describes the following barriers to change are X, Y, Z. And I think those three apply in this case. I mean, it's however you want to do it, but try to do it. If there's any questions as to how I'm going to grade, if you look in the announcement section, you will see that I've given you the scoring rubric I will use right here. My cursor is highlighting scoring rubric for week 6 person change paper. All right. This Thursday or Friday, I will release the scoring rubric for that week 7 organizational change paper. So you'll see how that looks. And that should give you as much information as you need or would want. If there is not enough, by all means, again, let me know. Okay, so I've gone on for close to 30 minutes. No one has joined us, which is fine. These are not mandatory. They are provided for your use. I hope somebody gets some good use out of this. Again, I apologize for my dim lighting. I hope that didn't affect your watching this video. I hope you found some of this information of interest and help. That's what it's designed for. These are posted into YouTube. If you go into the student lounge tile of your course, right? If you click into that and you scroll down past getting to know you student coffee house and the link you used to get to this session, you will see, and I've highlighted here on my screen, weekly office hours Zoom sessions, shared video files. Looking into that, you will find each of the sessions, okay? Obviously, there will not be any video for the sessions that are canceled. I apologize for canceling some of these sessions. If you recall, I had to cancel one because of Halloween. Sometimes there's exigencies that pop up on your instructor, and I try to minimize those as much as I can. All right, so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to start building out the post for this forum. I start with something I've already been written. So yes, I tend to regurgitate some. We'll add a discussion topic. We will call this the week number 5 Zoom session. And we will paste, change the 4 to 5. And we talked about the week 5 requirements. We covered change paper topics, as well as change images. Okay. Week 5 requirements, as well as major points for the 2 papers. Okay. Chapter 6. Our Moodle, nobody joined. Okay, so we're all set there. So I'm going to shut this down. It'll take a few minutes for me to upload this video. Usually depends on YouTube. They'll do it anywhere from within just 5 minutes to about 30. Okay. I wish you all have a good night. I want to thank you for your efforts in this course and encourage you to continue. Okay. It's been a pleasure having you in class, and I hope you're getting a lot out of it because I know I am. All right. Take good care.